At ease, as you. Okay. Hey sis, what's your name?
Sierra.
You said Sierra? My name is Jabez. Jabez Sierra. So we're out here to teach the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who we are according to the Bible. So sis Sierra, what would you say your nationality is that you've been taught your whole life?
American black.
American black.
Yeah.
American black.
Yeah.
Have you ever asked yourself, what's that?
But I think, ain't everybody American?
Ain't everybody American? Okay, is everybody American? I would say no. You know why?
No.
Because there's a people, right? I'm gonna make it plain with you, Sierra. A so-called white man, right? What did he do when there was already people dwelling here in the Americas? He killed them, right? The so-called Native Americans, right? Were here. Were they called Americans prior to the so-called white man invading them? No, right? So we all can't be Americans, but that name is put upon us because of what? Us being conquered by another nation, you understand? So we're not truly Americans, you see that? We're gonna prove it to you out of the Bible. Sierra, what's that?
What are we?
What are we? Very good question. Go to Genesis chapter 28 verse 32. We're going to show you who we are, and then we're going to show you out of the curses of the Bible that we identify as God's chosen people, the Israelites. Sierra, you hear that?
Israelites.
Yes, we're the Israelites. Let's go.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 28. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God.
You see that? Because our forefather Jacob his name was changed to Israel, which means a prince that has power with God. Or since you're a woman, right? You would be a princess that has power with God, being called Israel. So that's our God-given name, and we're going to prove that to you, Sis Sierra, that you're an Israelite, and you are a princess that has what?
Power with God and with men.
You have power with God and with men. The only way you can have that power is if you apply God's laws. That's the only way. And we're going to prove that. Let's go. Let's go to Deuteronomy. We're going to give you some history, Sierra, okay? Bear with us, all right, sis? We're going to give you some history to prove that you're an Israelite according to the Bible.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
You hear that, Sierra? These be the words which Moses, you know who Moses is? Do you know anything about Moses, the prophet Moses? Moses, okay, let's see if I can refresh your memory. Have you ever seen the movie called Prince of Egypt? You don't watch the movie? Have you heard of a man parting the Red Sea? Have you heard of it? Splitting the Red Sea?
Ten Commandments.
So it was a long time ago, so it's still in your mind, but it's not fresh, okay? But there was a man named Moses, Sierra, right? He would be identified as a black man today. Moses, right? And it says what? These be the words which what?
Which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So now at this time Moses was in Egypt. He was speaking to the children of Israel, right? He wasn't speaking to everybody on the planet. You see that? He's speaking to specific people. So that's what we wanted to identify to you to prove that we're Israelites, right? Who was Moses speaking to at the time, right? Was he speaking to everybody on the planet, or was he speaking to specific people? You see that? Very good. You with us. All right, let's go. Let's get some curses. Let's get some curses to identify if we're God's chosen people or not. Because, hey, Sierra, I'm going to ask you a question, Sierra. You with me, Sierra? In the land of Israel today, right, what people are there that you see predominantly? White people, right? They call themselves Jewish, right? Most of them call themselves Jewish people from the land of Israel, right? And they would identify themselves as what? God's special people, right? Did you know that? That's what they would identify themselves as, God's chosen people, but they're not God's chosen people. We're going to prove that. Let's get the curse.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
So now Moses, Sierra, Moses is speaking to the children of Israel, which are the so-called blacks. You see this slide right here? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay, go ahead.
But it shall come to pass.
Well, they say Jehovah.
That says the 12 tribes of Israel. And this first tribe is the tribe of Judah. Judah, which is the head tribe. You more than likely come from that tribe, Sierra. And we're going to prove that. It's a lot, but we're going to make it simple and plain for you, okay? Benjamin would be the so-called Jamaicans. Right. What would your father be, Sierra?
I know him, but I don't know much of his background.
Understood. You're probably from the tribe of Judah, okay? We're going to prove that. Go ahead.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So Sister Sierra, right? So Moses is saying, hey, if you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who are the Israelites, if you do not what?
If we do not hearken unto the voice of the Lord our God.
If we didn't listen to God, what would happen to God's chosen people? Let's see.
To observe and to do all his commandments.
Because Sister Sierra, we were given commandments, okay? Commandments, things that God has ordained for us to follow and keep. Yes, you see that we're being sold. You see so-called white men selling our children and our women, right? You see that? This is real depiction of the so-called white men selling our people. You see that? It's written in the Bible. We're going to prove that to you, okay? Go ahead.
To observe and to do all his commandments.
You see that, Sierra? Moses said you must keep the commandments. You're supposed to observe to do all the commandments. Go ahead.
And his statutes.
And the statutes.
Which I command thee this day.
Right, because at that moment in time, he told you, if you got to keep these commandments. Now that you are not under Pharaoh, who enslaved you during that time, coming back to God's given, what? Orders to us, the law, statute, commandments, you must keep it. Go ahead.
That all these curses.
You hear that, Sierra? He said what?
That all these curses.
Are curses a good thing or a bad thing, Sierra? Very bad, right? Very bad. Let's prove how bad these curses are. Let's prove it. Go ahead.
Shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So now these very bad things, these curses are going to come upon the children of Israel, right, Sierra? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which we're going to prove, right? That all these bad things are going to come upon our people. Let's see what bad things came upon our people. Let's get verse 46 first.
What are
Nigerians? Nigerians would be from, some Nigerians would be from the tribe of Judah, would be an Israelite, some of them. Okay. What's that?
What are they saying, or did they sell?
We're gonna show you out the Bible that we were being sold. All right. Go to verse 46.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
You see that, Sierra? It said what? They shall be upon thee. You know what that day is talking about, Sierra? They shall be upon thee for a sign. We're gonna prove it. Jump to verse 5. Up for 45.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses,
see that,
shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee.
So now that day is referring to the curses. You understand? Now go back to 46.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So Sierra, and excuse me, what's your name? Lily. Nice to meet you, Lily. This is Sis Sierra, and my name is Jabez. So right now we were going over who God's people are according to the Bible. Are they just anybody, or does God give us signs to show who his people are today? So we're proving to Sierra that Moses said to the children of Israel, if you don't keep the commandments of God that I have set for you, right, that all these curses would come upon the children of Israel. You understand? So we're proving that in verse 46 it says what? Read verse 46 about these curses.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
You see that? The Bible says that these curses are going to be a sign. What is a sign, Sierra?
Look. You see Judah on this sign right here?
A warning. Very good. Very good. What would you say, Lily? Hey, bro, how you doing, bro? Come deal with us. This is Sis Sierra, all right? Sis Lily, and my name is Jabez. What's your name?
T.
You said T? Nice to meet you, T.
How you doing?
So we're teaching our people about us being God's chosen people, the Israelites. That what you've been taught your whole entire life about just being, what would you identify yourself? Yeah. What would you identify yourself?
Black.
Black, right? Black. Black. But God says, you're an Israelite.
That's
The
right.
so-called white man, we got to be real, he's put that name upon us when he conquered us in 1619.
Bring it out.
You understand
I
that?
don't-
So we're going to prove to you, T. See if you stick around. Just look at these signs. Stick around. And if you got any questions,
My haircut real quick. I'll be back.
we might not be back. If you can stay for 2 minutes, how long? Okay, go ahead. Stay for 2 minutes. So far, T, you understand, T? We're going over who God's chosen people. That's very important. I promise you, that's more important than the haircut. Trust me. Trust me. The haircut's always going to be there. You see? All right. Let me read that again. All right. We're going over the curses. Go ahead. It's going to be for a sign. Go ahead.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
So these curses that Moses said that was going to happen to the children of Israel would be a sign. So she said, sis, Sierra said that a sign means like a warning. You see that? Would you agree? What would you say, Lily? I didn't hear what you said, Lily. A sign? A warning. What would you say? What would you say, T? A sign. You said what? A problem. A sign? Right. You guys are all correct. A sign is something that shows you something, right? So the Bible says that these curses shall be a sign. You see these signs right here? These are real depiction of the so-called black man being enslaved by the so-called white man. You see the conquering right here. You would see us on auction blocks. Did that not happen? You read that in school, right? Our people were enslaved and put on auction blocks, right? Yeah. God says that would be a sign upon our people to identify us as being the Israelites according to the Bible. You see that, T? We're proving that. You see what? Let's say Toby? Tobit? You heard of Toby before? Tobias. They changed his name to his name was Kunta Kinte, and they changed his name to Toby. Right. To Toby. When they whipped him to almost to death, right, they forced him to be taken away from his heritage. You're not Kunta Kinte no more. You're Toby. Right. You're Toby.
James, your name is Toby. I want to hear you say it. Your name is Toby. You're going to learn to say your name. Let me hear you say it. What's your name?
Kunta Kinte.
The so-called white man's name, okay, it says shall be for what?
A sign and for a wonder.
And T, you would wonder why our people get shot down in the street so much. How can we see Trayvon Martin all the time? It's not just him. Why do we see Sandra Bland all the time amongst our people? You don't see that happen to the so-called Chinese people. You don't see that happen to the so-called Arabs, right, Lily? You don't see that happening to the Chinese or the so-called white man like it does to us. You see that? They shall be for what? A sign and for a wonder, right?
And upon thy seed forever.
So now these curses will be a sign upon our seed forever. God is a mastermind. He made sure that these curses, every time we start keeping the commandments, that there will be a sign upon our people to identify us being God's chosen people today. You see that? So now let's prove to you, do you believe that slave ships is in the Bible? Yes. You believe that's in the Bible? Have you ever been taught that's in the Bible? We're going to prove it to you that those Israelites that God says are chosen, that slavery happened to them and they were sent by slave ships. Right. And we know today that it happened to us, the so-called, what you call black people, right? Let's see. Let's go ahead. Go ahead. What you got? Tempo. Now go to verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So now Moses is telling the children of Israel that the Lord will bring the children of Israel into Egypt again. It says Egypt again with ships because the first time we walked out of Egypt, right? It's a lot. Hey, I got a sweater on, bro. I got a sweater. I'm getting hot. I'm sweating.
Trying to get you sweaty, man. Be quick. Come on, just. I gotta be a little quicker. This is the truth about black history as well.
Right. Right, because it's an issue. The problem with our people is that we like to break God's laws. I'm gonna give you law. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. We just showed sis Sierra that we're a prince and a princess that has power with God. You must keep the commandments. Let's see what you gotta keep.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, and verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God?
Now, Paul is posing a question. Know you not that you're the temple of God? Right, T? You're the temple of God according to the Bible. Go ahead.
And that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you.
Now, the Spirit of God dwells within us. Read on.
If any man
if any man, which is UT, an Israelite man, read on.
defile the temple of God,
Defile means to destroy your temple which God given you, right?
him shall God destroy.
God said he's going to destroy you.
Right.
God said he's going to destroy his people that defile the temple. What are some of those defilements? Is what? Smoking. Smoking weed, smoking coke, crack, cocaine. These are the things that God says don't do. That defiles your temple, right? Right, T? You see that? So are you special according to God? So your temple's important, right? Why are you going to defile it? Why should you defile it? Because I see right now you about to roll. But what does God say? If you're rolling up right now, this is important because our people in this community must stop smoking, must stop doing drugs. We're God's chosen people. Read it.
If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy.
God says what?
Him shall God destroy.
God said he's going to destroy our people when we defile his temple. You understand that?
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.